Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, this is Talking Habs news for January 19, 2021. We're going to talk about the game last night, Montreal's win over the Dallas Stars. I got a few things on that. There was a press conference today introducing Kent Hughes as Montreal's newest general manager. I'm going to give you my thoughts on Kent Hughes, what I learned from him of him at that press conference. There's a few other things. Jonathan Drouin was fined. COVID attacks again. Tyler Foley returned to the ice. And there's a little bit more. We're going to get to that right now. The Habs' first win in January came in an unlikely way. The second game of back-to-back games on the road, and at a time when Montreal has seemingly hit rock bottom. A 5-2 win in Dallas, while unexpected, well, they were due to win a game at some point soon. Even the worst teams win a game every now and then. They haven't won 2 in a row yet this season. So will that change now? I said when they were in the COVID break that they'll probably play better once everyone comes back. I just hope not good enough to ruin their shot at the #1 pick at the draft. COVID attacks again. Yoel Armia and Cole Caulfield were placed on the COVID protocol list yesterday morning, many hours before the game, after both tested positive. I believe the night before. I haven't heard anything about a second test, but they both were not in the game. This allowed for Michael Pezzetta to return to the lineup, along with a long-time injured person, Tyler Toffoli, who had missed the last 11 games and I think hadn't played since like early December, maybe December 3rd, I think. This paid off for Montreal with both players scoring goals. Toffoli's was a shorthanded goal. And COVID hitting, everybody was off the COVID list. And of course, COVID's not happy with that, so they had to have 2 more guys. I believe it's Armia's 3rd time overall since last season. And I think for Cole Caulfield, it's his 2nd time having COVID and being placed on a list. Tyler Toffoli wants to stay in Montreal, and when asked about this recently, he said, I want to be part of the solution. I want to be a guy who's a leader, a guy who's looked up to. And this is kind of confirmed by something that Ducharme said after the game last night, that he believes a big part of the win had to do with Toffoli being back in the locker room, his leadership, and just that, his leadership. So I could see, you know what, I can honestly see Habs hanging on to Toffoli even through the rebuild, especially if he really, really wants to stay here. He's got a really good contract. The problem is, I would think that Toffoli could bring you more than likely a first-round pick back in at the trade deadline. So it depends if Montreal wants to do that, or they need to hang on to him or want to hang on to him for his leadership and to help mentor these kids through the rebuild. So he hears the rumors out there, but he definitely wants to stay here, and that's good to hear. And, I'm on the fence with Toffoli. Sure, I'd love to see him stay here, but I think he could fetch a first-round pick. And in a rebuild, that's really what's important. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And, hey, give a thumbs up. Sam Montembeault is really starting to impress me in his last few starts and his appearances. I know as far as coming in the 3rd period to take over a game, I believe he's got something like a .956 or .957 save percentage. It's really impressive for a guy that is a young kid like that, coming into a really tough situation here in Montreal. Team playing as bad as they are, filling in basically for Carey Price. And right now, Jake Allen. It's a tough situation for a young guy just getting his footing in the NHL. And I'm telling you, I'm being impressed with the way he's been playing. He started out really rough in his first couple of games, and then I think it's just gotten better from there. He faced 51 shots last night, and I think is the main reason that Montreal was in a position to win. He gave them the time to find their offense, and at close to the halfway mark of the game, that's when they got their first goals. 2 goals in 22 seconds apart. And really, Montembeault gave them the opportunity to do that. Monty kept them in there all night, and especially in the 3rd. He faced 23 shots, and a ton of power plays at the end of the period. The kid's just getting better and better, I think, as the season goes on, and he's looking a little more confident out there as well. He's seeing a lot of rubber, but it's good. It's good for him, and it's good for his development. And I kind of think he's impressing the management, and I'm not really worried about the coaching staff right now, but I think he's going to impress his way into some position with Montreal. He's going to stick with the team going forward, I think. We want you to become a member of Talking Habs. Jonathan Drouin fined $5,000 for his cross-check to the neck of Tyler Seguin in the third period. I believe it was right after a face-off, and I think Tyler Seguin had cross-checked him first. He had Seguin down on the ice with his stick on his neck and kind of slid up his head till it popped his helmet off. So it earned him a 5-minute major and a game misconduct penalty, and I believe Seguin also had the game misconduct penalty. The last 8 minutes of the game, after that penalty, both teams were either at 4-on-4 or one or the other was shorthanded. Monty stood tall at the end to earn a first star with a 48-save performance and his second win of the season. Will Carey Price return at all this season? There's a Carey Price update out there, and this is from an article from yesterday. Carey Price will have to restart rehabilitation on his surgically repaired knee, the Montreal Canadiens said on Monday. There is no timetable for his return. The 34-year-old goalie has not played this season after having knee surgery July 23rd. The Canadiens said at the time he would need 10 to 12 weeks to recover. So if he's just restarting his rehabilitation, you got to figure there's another 10 to 12 weeks to go. That's 2.5 to 3 months, and that would essentially take him right to the end of the season. Price, who has met with his own doctors as well as the Canadiens, had been making slow progress until Montreal paused activities earlier this month as a COVID-19 preventative measure, during which he contracted the virus himself. It's not a setback, but he was not able to use the weeks during the break to take a step forward, Coach Dom Ducharme said Monday. He is basically at the same point that he was before Christmas when the league was stopped because of COVID. So you got to figure, if he comes back, it might be maybe April. It's the last month of the season. It might pay to have him just shut down for the rest of the season, and we'll see what happens, especially with new management in place. The Montreal Canadiens' revised schedule has been released by the NHL. That is to reschedule 10 games that have been postponed already, and there's 2 games that they are switching up, one on February 1st and one on, I believe, April 26th. That will be moved just to make the schedule work out, I imagine. So the February dates, basically the month of February is being filled up. There were 3 weeks left open there for the Olympic break that was supposed to happen. The NHL is not going to the Olympics, so it leaves those dates open to be filled up. So February 8th, 10th, 12th, 13th, 17th, 20th, 21st, and 23rd, those are going to be filled up. And the 12th and 13th, that I believe is Super Bowl weekend. They're 12:30 p.m. starts, so very early starts both on the weekend. There's a 2 p.m. start for February 20th. That's a New York Islanders game. And there's just, they've made up everything. There might be some more games postponed. There's 3 games at the end of January that I know are up in the air. And so there might be, a new release of those games and when they're going to be played. So anyway, the schedule's out. So look for it if you want to see it. Otherwise, just pause right here. You can see the schedule right here. The Montreal Canadiens have finally announced their new general manager, and he is Kent Hughes, a Beaconsfield native, fluently bilingual, and now former player agent for the likes of Patrice Bergeron, Chris Letang, and many others, and even at one point, Vinny Lecavalier. He signed a 5-year deal to become the 18th and the newest general manager, and he left a very lucrative player agency. By all accounts, he may be the perfect guy for the job, just what the doctor ordered. So there was a news conference today, a press conference, with Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton, and Jeff Molson. And these are things I learned about Kent Kent Hughes at the press conference today. First off, he's not Jeff Gorton's best friend. Yes, he is a friend of Jeff Gorton. He's not a best friend of Jeff Gorton. Apparently, Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes have never socialized together. They're not best friends. They don't do things together, but they've come to have a very solid respect and trust in each other over the last 20 years or so, just being in the world of hockey. He is a hockey junkie. So now we know what hockey junkie looks like. All right. No, he's not hockey junkie on YouTube, but he is an avowed hockey junkie. Says he's either talking about players or teams, or in some form, he's always seems to be talking about hockey. He has a plan, has patience, has a short-term and long-term vision for this team. He believes in advanced stats. He speaks French like a Quebecer. He'll fire Coach Dom. Now, I say that because he did not say that. I say that because something he said right at the end of his basically of the press conference. He was talking about something else, and he said, "We need a modern coach, and we need to find a modern coach to." It's something in that term, and I thought to myself, "Oh yeah, Coach Dom's gone." Even though he said he doesn't know Coach Dom, he'll speak to him, and you know, so doesn't necessarily think he has to bring in a coach on his own, like a coach of his own. But I still think Coach Dom's gone. So he will fire Coach Dom. Enough babbling about that, Rick. Wants an offensively minded team that's fast with the puck. Not just fast. He said, it's two different things. He wants a team that's fast with the puck. A possession hockey team, which is like a breath of fresh air to hear. Won't be relying on defensive mindedness, vets that are defensive minded and all this defensive hockey and nobody scores. Wants to create a very modern organization that players will want to be a part of. Definitely that's a great thing to hear. He knows exactly how agents think and thinks it'll help him in negotiating contracts, obviously. Is a good negotiator and talent evaluator. Puts a heavy emphasis on development and getting the best out of players. That's just a few of the things that I took from this press conference, specifically about Kent Hughes. I think this guy is going to be really good for the team. I like what he says. It doesn't seem to be any pie in the sky with this guy. He seems to be a very straight shooter, and you know, it's a different look, a different way of looking at things. It's not a traditional, old-fashioned hockey guy retread of some sort coming in here. It's a very fresh approach, and I really like the direction that this could mean for the Montreal Canadiens. So Kent Hughes, the newest general manager, the 18th in the history of the team, and yeah, there you go. That's the news for today. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe out there till the next video, and peace out, y'all. See you next time. Bye, everybody. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there.